Hey guys, welcome back. Today it is the 31st of October 2024, which is the last day of October. Let's talk about it. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment if you want to see me making 600 a day within 7 years. And before we get into that, I am currently streaming my daily stuff, what I'm actually talking about. So if you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe. All right, let's get into the content. So, we all right, let me check what's going on. All right, so today, like usual, we were streaming. We are currently maybe 7, 8 streams in. So we've been streaming for a week. But we have some internet issues. I talked about this before. Basically, this was the fourth time that my internet ran out, and that means that I had to restart the stream. Sometimes I cannot even restart the stream because it's just gone. The line is gone. There's no data coming in from my wall into my modem. So we called today, and basically they don't necessarily really care, but I demand that they will do a technical um, uh, analytics test, and which they did, and indeed there are some current problems. Maybe that's because of the renovation downstairs. I am not sure, but I find this very unfortunate that my stream suddenly runs out. So I want to say I'm sorry, but this is out of my control. This is an external problem, but we will try to fix it. And the guy that comes will come soon and check what's really going on, because it seems to be um, somewhere in the building things going on with my internet. So, but we'll just still stream, and we'll try our best if we have internet, and if we don't, guys, it is how it is. But I will still do the daily content nonetheless. All right, let's get into the languages. So today, like usual, we did the Japanese, consistent with the kanji. We're doing that 3 times a day, so there's that. With the Korean, it's not going well. I am still doing the introduction. I'm still practicing that, but the plan is not specific enough. Well, like, what is next? It has to be, my plan has to be so stupid that I will do it. And I don't want. It seems that if there's enough friction, I will skip it, and that's not good, because there's a lot of things to do, and I have a lot of responsibilities. So that's why. Let's get into the bias of today. There is no bias of today because we finished that goal for this month, and then we'll be back tomorrow because it's going to be the 1st of November. All right, so let's get into the most important part, which I also stream, so make sure you tune into that. We started with Next.js 15, and we were ready to follow our projects, but it seems that as soon as I use Next.js 15, I'm getting hydration errors, I'm getting legacy errors, and the reason why is because Next.js 15, like not the release calendar, but the official update, seems to be not supporting all, how do you call that, packages that are not updated for this new Next.js. So we had to downgrade to Next.js 14.2, 3.2, I think, or 2.3. So that's my reasoning, that then the dependencies are supported, and that kind of makes the project. But there seems to be a problem with this project. Even though it is straightforward what we are building, I felt I was building a React.js project, which we already done. Why would I rebuild a new React.js project while I want to do a Next.js project? So I am going to drop that one. And so, yeah, that's what you should know. And I'm going to find a new really Next.js focused project. But before I did that, I see they are using Sentry. Sentry is basically a tool that monitors your analytics and monitors the mistakes that you make on a particular project. So that's something that you should know. But also, I was like, maybe I am wrong. So what we did after stream, I focused again on the 4 most important things about Next.js, which is server-side rendering, server static generation, and the hybrid version is incremental server rendering. I think those are the one. If you don't know the difference about that, don't worry about that. I can explain it for you right now. Basically, server static generation is that the page is going to be static. So it has to be loaded once. It's not going to be maintained or regenerated. So which comes to the other side, which is SSR. That's basically real-time rendering. So you're dependent, for example, maybe a stock website, and that needs to regular update the numbers. So this is what we call dynamic, or really dynamic, and needs to update frequently, and that's why there is an SSR template for it. So how would you know which is a static one and which is a server-side rendering one? Well, first you should look at the parameters that the asynchronous function is using awaiting for, and that's basically how you kind of can get the gist of which one it is. Then we have the hybrid version, which is ISR, and basically that is you want to have an asynchronous function, but the content does not necessarily have to be updated a lot. For example, it could be like a section on your website, and that could be maybe Instagram feed for only your page. So you have like a personal blog, and you have your Instagram feed to show off the pictures or your gallery. And sometimes maybe once or twice a day you post a video, then you can set in this component, the ISR component, you can tell the function like, hey, check for updates every hour. And then you can, then it will add on to the stack maybe an hour later. That's totally fine. This is also good because then, because API calls can cost money depending on which platform you use. For example, Twitter and Reddit could be maybe very expensive. Now, that being said, you also have to consider use client. So use client basically means is that there are certain DOM manipulations or certain interactive components that only works on your browser and not on the server, because basically Next.js focus on everything, most things that are generated on the server and get sent to the client, so it reduces the amount of generation of loading into the browser. So that's basically the goal of Next.js. Hopefully I explained that well. But yeah, let's get the video is getting a little bit long, but hopefully that is a good explanation. This is what we studied, right? So tune in into the stream if you want to get this kind of explanation. Like I'm showing you real time, I'm learning it real time. So yeah, let's get into the framer. So with the framer, we had a mobile version and a desktop version from Figma to Framer, because that was the goal of the tutorial what I was following. I was like, okay, let's stop the tutorial and let's focus on that. So we did that, and we had, at some point I realized we have a different version for desktop and a different version for mobile. So I had to swap and delete and copy paste certain things. And I'm not a huge fan of that, but yeah, you're copying Figma from Framer, so it makes sense. Yeah. So in the afternoon, what we focused on is a real project. So one of the goals of this month in October 2024 is that we're gonna initialize a real project. So I reached out to one client and I told them like, hey, I basically made it for free in exchange for your reference. So usually it's not recommended to do something for free, but maybe that client is interested, maybe not. But we did achieve then the goal of this month. It's very simple, but yeah, that's something what you should know. In the afternoon, we also focus on Next.js concept, specifically about suspense, fallback, and lazy loading, and when I should use that with the different server components. So yeah. Let me see. We also had one other goal that we needed to focus on, which is not on a programming, which we did not on stream, which is the facial body language course. So I looked at different courses and I basically followed a part of them and in total of an hour. But this seems to be way more difficult than the body language scores that I currently have. So that was pretty interesting, and I have to focus more on that. So I'm going to transition that goal into November, even though we did the goal basically and we learned some things. So yeah, let me see if I forgot other things to mention. Yeah, that is basically it for today. It's a pretty long video, but that's because I had an explanation going on. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment if you want to see me make a 6 on today within 7 years. And I will see you on to the next one.